All right, so here is the wiper cowl. This is the race version with no holes for the windshield wipers and no vents. So up front, it's a real piece of carbon fiber. It's not dipped, but it is one layer of carbon fiber backed with fiberglass versus multiple layers of carbon fiber and resin pressed together. So the fiberglass is used to give it strength here, and then they just use a single sheet of carbon fiber to give you the carbon fiber look, effect, and depth to make it, you know, nice and pretty. The pros and cons to using this method is one, it's mainly it's just cost. So if you have multiple layers of carbon fiber, it'll cost more. I paid $280 plus shipping, came out to like $315 or whatever, from California to the East Coast. I ordered it May 27th and got it June 2nd. So super quick on the shipping. I appreciate that. But single layer of carbon fiber back with fiberglass, it's all cost savings. You'll lose a little bit of rigidity or strength and weight savings with this version versus just the actual piece of carbon. So multiple layers of carbon, it'll be a lighter and a little stronger. But this guy the factory piece weighs like 2 pounds, 2 and some change. This guy, I think, is going to weigh about 2 pounds too. Maybe it'll save a few ounces. Anyway, besides the fact that the backside doesn't look like dull carbon fiber, that's its dead giveaway. Another one, if you weren't sure, is to put it up in the light and you can kind of see how it has those the holes through. Real carbon fiber would not do that, or multiple layers of carbon fiber would not do that. Fiberglass does that, and what they do is they paint the fiberglass black so you have less of the shine through. And then they use the wet lay process and lay a single sheet of carbon fiber over the fiberglass piece, and then add their resin and polish it and all that stuff. So they used a chop strand mat to add in these tabs for the clips, and you can kind of see that. So that's chop strand mat, and then they use a resin to attach it, very strong. The clips, factory clips, are just plastic pieces molded into the factory piece, and I'll show you that here in a little bit. These are aluminum tabs, so they can flex a little bit, but I figure if you, like any metal, if you bend it too much, it'll break. But they look to be really secure in there. I think overall, it looks like they use a really good quality, or a decent quality, of carbon fiber sheet. Cheap carbon fiber sheet, it looks blocky and wavy, especially if they stretch it too much. All the lines here, as you can see, are nice and straight, which will make it easier to match other pieces of carbon fiber. Only towards the ends, where they kind of pulled it a little bit, where you can kind of see it gets a little wavy, just on the ends, but most of these pieces you won't be able to see. The rubber will be covering here. The main parts, it looks beautiful. The finish looks, it looks really good. They definitely, there's a little bit of like chalky residue here, so you can tell they just waxed it, but it looks good. Time will tell on the quality of the clear coat. They should have used a UV protectant clear coat, and when people use cheap clear coat to cover their part, you can tell because it'll start cracking or turn yellow. That's clear coat failure. Time will tell on this. We'll have to see. But what we're going to look for when we install the other piece is the curvature to the windshield. We're going to look for gaps, how well the clips, which I'll cover here in a minute when I take this piece off, how well the clips fit into their little tabs in the car. And then you're going to look for the fitment right here. So this piece, the factory piece, this ABS plastic or whatever it is, it definitely has some give. And I broke it taking it off once already, because you kind of have to flex it a little bit to get it in this tab on at least one end. So we'll just check for the installation on that, and I'll cover that along the way. All right, be back in a minute. Okay, here's both pieces together. So we got the factory OEM piece with the carbon race piece here. As you can see them together. We'll turn them around so you can see both. And what you need to transfer here is this rubber piece here. It's held on with double-sided tape. The end rubber piece also held with double-sided tape. So I'll clean these pieces in some soap and water. I'll use the Meguiar's Back to Black to get it looking nice. Before I attach it, I'm gonna try the Scotch Extreme mounting tape. So it's a double-sided tape, black in color, to put these pieces on. You have to take off the rubber pieces here. They have these little metal clips here. And let me tell you, they are not intended to come off. I end up breaking most of these tabs right here trying to get them off. They just don't come off. You also have to transfer these little metal clips. You see I already put one on the aluminum tabs. They fit fine. When you take your factory piece off, these may pop off. So just check inside that little cowl area if they came off. One of mine came off. And then, like I said, just the rubber pieces have to get transferred. So I'll wipe this down with alcohol, clean this, double-sided tape, attach it to here, back to black on everything. And you can kind of see the difference on the back to black. You see that one's gray. I've already kind of freshened this one up, and that's what we're shooting for. So also weigh this real quick so you can get an idea of what we have. Let me take this clip off so we get an apples to apples weight. Like I said, you're not going to save much on weight switching this, so that shouldn't really be a real factor to me if I were you. So 0 pounds is zeroed. Put the factory on. We'll put all the rubber pieces on. All right, so it has all pieces. I got 2 pounds, 6.2 ounces, and everything is on, as you can see there. And then I'll get everything transferred to this one, and then we'll weigh this one. And just fun, as it is, empty, 0 with none of the trim. It weighs 1 pound, 14.6 ounces, according to my little cheap scale. All right, we'll come back once we're done. All right, coming back at it. So I got all the rubber pieces on. Not gonna lie, getting the adhesive off of these strips, a lot more challenging than I thought. So that's the entire piece. We'll weigh it here in a second. A couple of quick tips, or just to go over it. So I used, again, the Scotch Extreme mounting tape, so double-sided tape. And to save some of this, just measure it in half. Roll your piece to the halfway mark and then cut it. And then you can use the other half for the other side. If not, you're going to use an entire roll of tape for one piece and cut off the piece and not cut off the other piece and not use it. So you can do that. Use my super huge garden shears to kind of cut that tape. Make sure you use sharp scissors to cut it. I got the other 2 little pieces here. I use my epoxy to essentially just glue the rubber stops on. And then what I did for these, since remember I told you these little clips don't really go on to these little aluminum tabs. They do not secure to the aluminum tabs. I end up using double-walled, decent quality heat shrink. And then I just kind of heat shrinked a piece of that on there to keep the tab on and stop it from coming off. That's what I did. So, you know, instead of these little clips, I just used that. I already had some in the garage. Boom, done. No special clips needed. So now just to compare the weight again on this guy. So 0 it. We've already showed the weight of the factory one. And this guy, fully loaded, ready to install, 2.32 pounds. So let's make sure that's right. Ooh, come on, buddy. Yep, 2.32 pounds. So it's, you know, almost no gains whatsoever. All right, we'll go to installing this. All right, I figured I'd save you from watching me fumble for 10 minutes trying to get this installed. I started off with the hood up, didn't work, put the hood down. And what I'm trying to do here is slide one piece of the cowl in on the passenger side, and I'm kind of trying to bend it into the other side underneath that A-pillar the way it's supposed to fit. I'm going to find out very shortly that this just doesn't work so well. The factory piece is a little bit more pliable, but you can still crack that, as you saw earlier on mine, because I cracked it while removing it. No big deal, because I'm never planning on going back to that piece, but if I do, I'll have to buy another one. So here in a second, I'll figure this out. And right now, I'm thinking, hey, you know what? Might be a great idea if I remove that A-pillar, because it looks like it can easily come up. There's a single 8mm bolt that's holding that A-pillar in place right there. And there I am removing it. And now I'm trying to figure out what else needs to be removed or popped up in order to get that A-pillar out. I've never removed this before. So I pulled back the trim there. There's the trim retainer, has a few Torx bit screws. They do not have to come off. The A-pillar actually just pops in place with like some spring clips that's underneath. Nothing comes off. So you saw I just popped it up. You do not have to remove the A-pillar. Just lift it up a little bit, and that'll allow the cowl to just fall in place. So on the other side, I did not do this. I just slid it in, and with the driver's side A-pillar up, you can now just pop it straight down. So now I'm methodically and cautiously trying to make sure that the cowl clips are aligned with the body holes. So I'm kind of really taking my time and just figuring it out right now, but I assure you the panel I have, everything lines up. It was perfect fit, and you'll see how I'm out of breath here in a moment, but I'm just like holding my breath, making sure I don't mess up anything or crack this panel. But man, great fitment. I paid for this. I didn't get a panel for free to do this video or anything. I just wanted to kind of record it and show you guys the fitment. And I'll come back here and show this to you here in a second. That's in there. So, man, took me about 10 minutes. It's in there. I had to take this piece off. If you take that piece off, kind of works out. It slides right in. All the tabs are there. Plastic is set. Let me go ahead and put this back in there. So just the one screw or bolt comes out here. And then these guys, the seal track stays in here. I took off these screws initially. They don't have to come off. That's just the track for the actual door seal. Never taken this off before. So, I'm gonna put that back in there. Yeah, I'll figure that out. All right, I'll come right back. All right, it's installed. So, pretty good. Corners, little contact right there, but it's not terrible, as you can see. It'll be a little contact on my hood. I have an aftermarket hood, but only when the hood is just up. The holes, these holes for the little retainers, I guess you could put retainers in there. Truly, I don't remember if they're retainers that go in there, but let's see if you can see them. These right here, they line up with the factory, this firewall piece. All of them line up, matter of fact. On this side, same little bit of contact and same little bit of contact, just like the OEM piece. This panel kind of touches the end of this. So I think over time, you'll get that chalky little residue from it vibrating a little bit. But man, look at the seal, nice and perfect, no wavy humps. And for the final look, boom, think it turned out good. And that's it. Nice and good, nice and clean panel right there. I like it. I think it turned out really good. All right, thanks guys.